Well, I'm out here working on my Troy-built lawnmower. It's about, I don't know, 14 to 16 years old. Can't exactly remember when we did buy it. But this is the second tire that I've had to replace. I had to replace the left one. Now I'm replacing the right one. Both of them weather checked and split out along the outside edge of the tire. Now the first one split out pretty badly. This one, it's only got two small areas right next to the cord. It's had a transition point where the tread meets the sidewall. And it's definitely a split because it's actually 2 or 3 spots along this one and 2 or 3 spots along that one. They sent along a valve core removal tool. It's a valve stem cap. And I used to have one of these on my bicycle. That way you always had one handy if you needed it. Not that I had to take the valve stem out of my bicycle that often, but you know, it's better to be ready. But when I try and use this valve core removal tool on the valve stem, I don't have enough grip in my hand to turn it. Fortunately, I have a valve core removal tool that's a bit more robust. Let's hope that this works. Same design. Sticks in it just about the same way. And works much, much better. That's the valve core. It's just a little valve that when you go to inflate your tire, there's a little plunger inside the inflator. It pushes that down and opens up the valve, lets air into the tire. As soon as you stop pushing on it, it closes and stops air from leaking out. At least that's the theory. These work remarkably well for as tiny as they are. They hold up for hundreds of thousands of miles and do quite well. The pin inside the inflator acts like a little valve inside the inflator. Until that pin is pushed in, this inflator won't let any air out. So the one valve inside the tire opens the valve inside the inflator, and both of them let air pass through. As soon as you release it, the air stops flowing out of both of them. Quite an ingenious design. It's been around ever since they came up with balloon tires. Now I'm supposed to cut no more than 1/4 inch off the end of this plastic nozzle on the bottle. I got a nice little ring on there to give me a guide so I can cut it off the right dimension. And there we go. That's all cut. Now I install this plastic tube over the end of the nozzle. Managed to get that over there, no problem. Now once I have that done and I have the valve core out of the valve stem, connect the plastic tubing to the tip of the bottle cap and then to the valve stem. Squeeze the bottle to push sealant into the tire. You can determine the number of ounces needed by multiplying the height of the tire by the width of the tire, then dividing by that number by 7.5. Or you can come down here and read the chart. Now I'm supposed to squeeze this until I pump all of the stuff into that tire, because this tire is a 20 by 8 and it says it takes 24 ounces, and that's what the bottle holds. So I'm going to have to set the camera down and do some serious squeezing to get all this stuff in there. If I'm not empty, I'm awfully close. Okay, then it says take that off. It says don't worry about the mess. Stuff washes off with soap and water. Okay, wipe up any remainder. Looks like that's all done. Now I stick the valve core back in the tire. Now that I have the valve core in, I'm going to clean up my tools and make sure I got that valve stem wiped off. Then I'm going to inflate the tire. Now I'm supposed to inflate the tire to the recommended pressure and spin it to make sure the sealant is evenly distributed. Note, use manual pump only. If you have any remaining sealant in the bottle, replace the spout with a childproof cap. Oh, there's still a little in there. Okay. I just have to get the hose down. Turn the valve on. I've got about 90 pounds of pressure in that regulator. But I'm not going to put all that 90 pounds into this tire. Just going to put enough that I see it start to move. Now, I could use a tire gauge on this, but if I got goop in there and I'm letting air out to go into my tire gauge, chances are that goop's going to get into my tire gauge. I don't think it's going to do it any good. Okay, now it says spin it. But before I do that, I'm going to take this little valve cap that they gave me and put it on the valve stem. There. Now we're fancy, all chrome and everything. Then I'm just going to spin this tire to make sure that the sealant is all the way around the inside. Now you're not going to want to watch me do this all the way until I get it done, so we're going to come back to this later. If it works, I saved myself $45. If it didn't, I'm thinking about maybe inflating this thing with foam. Used to do that with tires on the shop floor. Had one three-wheeled cart that they always had flat tires on it. I mean, it was down all the time. Battery operated thing. Everybody liked to use it. They drove it like it was going out of style. It was nice because you could hop on it and put a basket and run it around the shop anywhere you needed to go. So it was always a major complaint when the tires were flat. Got tired of having somebody constantly complaining. I sent the tires out, got them inflated with foam for 40 bucks each. Yeah, I know. That's a lot of money. Especially I did this one back in 1999. That's when I did the foam inflation on the thing. I think the biggest cost was having somebody else put the foam in it. So I'm going to go online and see if I can find somebody that sells the foam for home use. I'm sure they won't because they're afraid somebody's going to sue them if they get the foam on their finger. Well, I'm seeing bubbles leaking out of it. So I'm going to take this lawnmower out and mow the front yard, and that should give it enough time to roll around and hopefully fill that hole. Might be an issue where it just doesn't get up on the sidewall high enough. Might have to take the tire off and lay it on its side to make it work. This hole seems to have sealed up. This one, on the other hand, is still leaking just about as badly as it did before. Right there. Well, we'll give it every opportunity to succeed, and either it works or else I've done something wrong. A short time later. It was gushing. Now it's got two little tiny pinholes right there. You can just barely see the bubbles. It had a leak down the full length of that, and it split about the same size on the other side of the tire before. I mowed half the front, well, I mowed in the front yard. I'm going to finish mowing the yard, and we'll see if maybe we can get this stuff to drip down over the top of that and seal it up. If so, great, we're all done. If not, then I got the other tire.